let's jump to the story from Fox News. SCOTUS gives partial victory to GOP trying to enforce proof of citizenship to vote in Arizona. The law group says each state should determine its own voting process. In a 5-4 ruling Thursday, SCOTUS gave a partial victory. The court was asked to allow enforcement of sections of Arizona's law requiring documented proof of citizenship to cast a ballot in the presidential election, including when voting by mail. The Republican Party of Arizona said on August 15th that it had filed an emergency application pending appeal for the U.S. Court of Appeals Ninth Circuit in support of HB 2492, a law requiring proof of citizenship to vote in the presidential elections. A federal judge had blocked the enforcement of the law, which prompted the appeal to the High Court for temporary relief. The Constitution gives states the power to set voter qualifications, and Arizona is leading the charge to ensure only citizens vote in our elections. The Arizona GOP tweeted, "This case has the potential to prevent non-citizen voting once and for all, which should have been the case all along." Now, I got a question. Why are Democrats opposed to citizens requiring proof that they're citizens?
Well, I mean, really or ostensibly? You know the answers to both.
Both. Well, I know, but we'll say it for the audience.
Well, I mean, really, it's because they want to make sure the people are going to be voting for them. And ostensibly, what they say, because poor people don't have ID? It's something crazy like that.
I think they say black people don't have ID.
But not in Arizona. That's not going to
I don't think that matters. I think they just say black people anyway.
Yeah. But it's, the
it's illegal
disenfranchised
immigration,
don't have
let's just be
access to
clear.
IDs. But the truth is,
I don't think it's illegal immigration. I think it's also illegal people voting repeatedly.
I think it's a lot of things. That's fair.
Yeah, it's not only illegal.
I think illegal immigration in Arizona is the issue, though, because it has such, the proximity to the border. I mean, what's interesting about this is that when you read it, it's, you go on the Secretary of State's website, and it's like, yeah, when you want to register to vote, you can bring your driver's license, or you can bring, a photocopy of your birth certificate or your tribal ID number. Anything, all of these very reasonable things, tons of options. It's not like you have to have just one form of proof of citizenship. And the argument from voting rights group is, well, you're going to make it difficult for lots of people. And also, when they go to verify people's citizenship, this could threaten millions of Arizonans. So you're saying that there is a problem, that there are non-citizens voting in elections in Arizona.
I don't understand, and I think it's very un-American, that this idea that we should make it as easy as vote as possible.
Yeah, it should not be. It should be very difficult.
No sense to me.
Zero. At least intermediately challenging. Yeah. Not like anybody can trip over a rock and vote.
I don't even think it's that challenging to be like, here is my driver's license. Here's a copy
and my male genitalia. Those two things.
And the problem is that conservatives, libertarians, and not necessarily libertarians, but probably more so, are willing to accept the lightest form of argument, which is we just want IDs. Okay, how about this? We'll play the big ask. In order to vote in this country, you need an ID, 2 credit cards, a bank, a debit card.
3 years of tax filings.
3 years of tax filings. And then when they say that's insane, no one would ever vote, we go, okay, fine. How about we settle with your birth certificate, social security card, and an ID?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know what I think? Can I change the subject a little bit about the Supreme Court? Because I think this is a really smart move for the Republicans. They should say they have to do this, because there's been enough talk bubbling under from Warren and all these other types that we are going to have a constitutional amendment to limit the Supreme Court to 9 members. And if the Democrats vote no, they say, if you vote no, we're going to pack the court. So either we settle this argument once and for all, or you guys want to play this game, we'll play it first. Because otherwise, they're all talking about so-called rebalancing of the court, which means adding however many to make it a left-wing court.
It would be 13.
Yeah.
A total. So
at least.
Right. But you know the reason for that, right?
So that they win.
There's federal districts for each justice.
Okay.
But some have more than one, because at a certain point we stopped adding justices.
Okay.
So the argument for adding more justices is, I think we have 13 federal districts. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
that's
it's 12.
the ostensible argument.
I think it might be 12.
I'm wholly not opposed to more judges, to be honest. I don't like the less judges. It feels like the worst. If we had one judge, that would be the worst case scenario, that one guy gets to decide everything. So at least we have a group of people, like a tribal elder, 12 elders,
Okay, I'm not going to live in the longhouse with you hippies, like with this tribal. Why
it's too late. You're right here.
Dang it.
Well, but I don't know. I get nervous about a small group of people making epic decisions for 350 million people.
Yeah,
It's
but
always
the Senate's 100. The presidency's 1.
Yeah, but they're wholly ineffective. I mean, there's 450 people making decisions for the rest of us. Leaves
easy.
the rest of us in the cold.
I got to tell you, it's easy. I'm sorry, George, go ahead.
No, and then the businesses will bribe these people to make decisions outside. You know, the will of Congress is basically the will of the lobbyists and the big money, and the rest of us are left wondering why are drug prices so high.
But you did just bounce from Congress, or from Supreme Court having too few, and then Senate has too few, but now Congress has too many. I agree with you. It is difficult to determine what the most effective way to government is. On the other hand, our system is developed to have checks and balances, and if all of the branches of government function the same way, we would have the same kinds of problems over and over again.
Like in the New Deal, yeah.
Yeah, I think the other part, I just want to jump back to this for a second. So the partial victory is that in Arizona, they are allowed to enforce their proof of citizenship requirement. But if voters register via a federal form, they don't have to provide proof of citizenship. So that means that the state has done a really good job of securing election integrity, in my opinion, for Arizona, for any position in Arizona. But on the federal level, anyone casting a presidential ballot, they don't need to verify that there is proof of citizenship.
I also